rapper Young Thug. Young Thug, rapper Young Thug.
Young Thug.
Young Thug's rapper Young Thug.
Young Thug.
For Young Thug in new legal trouble tonight. There's a warrant out for his arrest.
Jeffrey Williams Jr., better known as Young Thug, with his unique voice and authenticity, has skyrocketed him to fame, hip-hop royalty. But behind the fame and multi-million-dollar deals lies a darker story of street gangs, death, and a rap beef that would define Atlanta's hip-hop scene for years to come. Today we're breaking down the music, his beef with YFN Lucci, and the chilling events that led to his arrest and him taking a 15-year plea deal. Young Thug was born Jeffrey Williams Jr. in 1991, born one of 11 siblings in Atlanta's Jonesboro South Projects. Young Thug describes his early childhood as growing up in poverty, and also Thug's environment was filled with challenges, shaping his gritty authenticity, nicknaming his hood Little Haiti because of the conditions resembling the country of Haiti itself. In a Rolling Stone interview, Thug details his upbringing, stating he was in the streets as early as 8 years old, claiming that he was only going to school to get new clothes from his parents. Also detailing an incident that would happen in school, where he broke a teacher's arm, landing him in juvenile detention. By reflecting on Thug's past, we can get a sense and a glimpse of the man himself, Jeffrey. It's these very chilling moments in Atlanta where Young Thug's story begins to take shape, a tale of survival, creativity, and ambition. This video is sponsored by Lander, your one-stop music production powerhouse. Everything you need to create and release music, including samples, plugins, unlimited distribution, and the world's best AI mastering engine. Create and release more music for one low price of just $11.99 a month. I've been using Lander for a good 2 years now to release my singles, Bad Bitches and Score. Go download it on all platforms right now. But they're super easy to use. Not only do they have no threshold for you to cash out, so if you get $5, $10, $50, even $100, you can cash out on that money. But they also give other tools, like there's courses that you can get soon as you start paying, and you can collaborate with other artists to get cover arts done. Maybe you need a beat, or maybe you just need some help engineering a song. So download Lander today and use my discount code that'll be in the link in the description to get 20% off your first purchase at Lander. Back to the video.
I came from the gutter, the struggle, 11 brothers and sisters, 10 brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. My mom never gave nobody up for an adoption. Me and my little sister, the last two, and we got the same dad. Mm-hmm. My mom got 11 kids. She got four or five baby daddies. Man, my mom got so many kids. I ain't even got to have that many friends. Yeah. My friends was nigga who really growed up with me, who really shot them straps with me. Mm-hmm. Robbed, killed, she got shot, stole, everything. All those people. My mom got so many kids. I got 5 brothers. Mm-hmm. I got 4 brothers, 6 sisters. 2 or 3 of my little sisters, they got that. They in the lobby with me. They handle all the business. And all my brothers, the family's so big, man. My sisters and brothers, they got so many kids. They probably like my immediate family, like my mom kids, my kids, my sisters and brothers and their kids. It's probably 100. Yeah. Just them. Not even aunts, cousins, nothing. Just immediate family. It's probably 100. So I don't really need too many people like that.
Your life. People don't really know too much about you. They love your music. They get crazy about your music. They know your lyrics by heart. But they don't really know who is Young Thug. Who is this person behind the music? So I would like to introduce to the people today this young guy. You was born August 16th of 1991.
Yes.
In Atlanta.
Yes.
How was it growing up there? What kind of, what neighborhood were you growing up? What is the name of the neighborhood?
Jonesboro South.
Okay.
It was hectic. It was, it was a hood, so it was all, it was like, tragic, basically. 90% of the time it's tragic, so it's kind of like the gutter.
And you're part of a big family?
Yes. 11. My mom got 11 kids.
11 kids.
Yes.
When you was young, have you ever imagined you would be one day this big superstar singing in front of thousands of people? What was in your head when you was young? What were you thinking about when you was young?
I always thought I was gonna be who I was, but I thought I was gonna be a ball player.
Was you singing when you was young? Listening to a lot of music?
Yes. Yes.
Like
for
what
life.
kind? Do you remember what kind of music you were listening to?
Yeah, like it was the same music like rap, like Lil Wayne, you know. Back when I was coming up, that was hot, like the Hot Boys, and then when they broke up, and then Lil Wayne and Birdman thing, I was on to that, you know.
Because you literally came from nothing. That's the name of your first mixtape? Came from nothing?
My first 3 mixtapes.
Yeah, your first 3 back in 2011?
Yeah, 10 and 11 and 12.
What was exactly the thing that made you, boom, have your hits on radio? And do you remember? Is it someone that you met? How did it start, really?
I think it was just the turn. It was my turn.
Thug gained recognition in Atlanta's underground rap scene in the early 2010s, with hits like Stoner and Danny Glover. In the early days, Thugger wasn't received well by the masses. But with collaborations with Gucci Mane and the likes of Birdman, it elevated his career to a whole new level, landing him multi-million-dollar deals with major labels. In the early years of Thugger's career, he was unmatched, seemingly changing the landscape of hip-hop, from a lyrical art form to sonics and melodies that don't require complex lyrical content. Just a vibe captured by the masses, pushing him in the category of mumble rap.
I know slime is it's like I never seen no one in the rap game that really named themselves or been so-called slime. 50 Cent is. But I never seen a person never really expressed it like I'm slime. You know, so I felt like when I was coming in the game, it was good to use slime because everybody was gonna be like, wow. And it's a new term. I never seen nobody. I never even New Orleans niggas like Hot Boys, BG, Soulja Slim, Juvie. I never even heard nobody on some real like slimy, like they really slime. You know, and you know what slime mean, right? It's kind of like Xing out. It's like, okay, you and me best friends. Me and you hit a lick. We get 20,000. I cuff 10,000 and be like, it's only 10. You know, just like slimy.
Slimy,
Slimy.
Young Thug founded his label, YSL, in the streets of Atlanta long before his deal with 300 Entertainment, already established record label. This would be Thug's move to a legit business, but the origins of YSL is unclear. Many say it stands for Young Stoner Life, the music collective made by Young Thug and a group of his friends, but others believe it stands for Young Slime Life, slime being a slang word used by the Blood Gang.
Hey, thank you.
And the most important thing that I can say to all of you guys is not whether it's 300 or YSL.
Leo. Yes, sir.
Roger go.
What? Papa Key. What? You did.
Young Thug just announced that basically YSL Records, I know he's been screaming YSL a lot, but now it's officially a thing, okay? He basically signed a deal with 300 to have his own imprint on 300, which means, and just to break down for nigga terms, okay? Basically, 300 Entertainment's gonna run or do all the paperwork and back-end stuff for his record label, but he gets to recruit and sign whoever he wants. He'll probably...
This is Leon motherfucking Cohen.
You did.
300.
You did.
YSL.
Oh, okay.
Young Thug, though, was one of the prominent signings. Now, Thug had called you his second dad. What is the relationship between you and Thug?
Well, back then it was incredibly intimate because, you know, it's a small company and, you know, we're all together. We're like brand new artists and brand new idea.
What was it about Young Thug that made you sign him? Because he's a very different hip-hop artist. I mean, I don't even know if you can call him hip-hop. It's almost like a new genre that he created.
I would say it's the melody in his voice. I would say it's the bravery. He's brave.
YSL became both a musical powerhouse and a focal point of future controversy over the years to come, signing artists like Gunna, Lil Gotit, Yak Gotti, Lil Duke, and Lil Key. But the YSL label could not keep their names out of the violence in the streets of Atlanta. At this time, YSL, the label, and YSL, the street gang, were blurring the lines between real actions in the streets and the music coming from the label. Young Thug has always been at the head of controversy. In 2015, Young Thug would drop The Barter Six, after having a full-on beef with rap legend Lil Wayne. As a diss to Wayne and Thug's close relationship with Birdman, this project would forever be the soundtrack to Thug's untamed creativity, with songs like Check, Halftime, and Constantly Hating taking over the sound of Atlanta.
Can't name the mixtape Carter 6 cause these fuck ass niggas trying to sue. Just like some hoes. Big old blood song going bar the 6 on the fucking way. The cooler like Akon. Fuck all the bullshit. Carter 6 coming. The bar the 6 coming, yeah. The bar the 6 bumming. The bar the 6 bumming, yeah.
That's Woody Jackie Dumpson. Check it out, man, because Lil Wayne, he has lawyered the fuck up. Now, we already know he's suing Birdman Sandusky for the amount of $51 million cash. Now we find out that he has slapped Thugger with a cease and desist notice from naming any goddamn project that's set to go on sale the Carter. And it doesn't matter what number. Could be the Carter 6 or the Carter 69. Don't matter.
The biggest, a lot of people did, bro. I fought with a lot of people, but the biggest inspiration was that nigga Wayne. Mm-hmm. But the way that he goddamn greeted me, that's like the second, that's like really the main reason why I never, goddamn, I always had in my mind, like I never in my life treat another person like this. Cause it's not like a real nigga. It's not like how you treat, you gotta goddamn, I ain't even get a chance. I'm like, man, I at least gotta give everybody a chance. Like,
okay, so you see him, you inspired, you walk up, you like, what's up, Wayne? What's up, Weezy? I'm the newest member. What's up, man? And it was just like, what's up, nigga?
Man, that nigga got down. The first day that nigga got down, didn't dap me up.
Oh, just left you hanging?
Didn't dap you up?
Tried me. Nigga tried my pimping.
Damn.
I'm like, twin, I be really be stuck. Goddamn real. Now my motherfucking feet hurt. Nigga, I'm a real stepper. Cool. Then goddamn, it just kept going on. One time I dapped him up. This how he dapped me. That one, I'm like, hey, listen, bro. If I touch your hand again, I'm a hoe anyway.
Right.
I'm never touching your hand again.
Right.
Just off of that, like, bro, you tripping, nigga. I'm a player, and I'm a real player, and I don't get no fuck, nigga. I ain't nothing about me, no group, no nothing. Like,
right.
I'm just a real nigga.
Right.
You inspired me,
right,
bro. That nigga, but a lot of this shit come from like, being spoiled and shit. I can't never accept that. Like, everybody always try to make me accept like the spoiled situation. Is like, hell nah, cause at one point I was spoiled. I'm still a man, and I still goddamn know how to treat a man, and I still got man tactics.
Absolutely.
Like, ain't that much spoil in the world.
Something really interesting was brought up during his trial. Of Lil Wayne's tour bus back in 2015. Police thought it was Young Thug. Why, you ask? Well, because Young Thug had a problem. His mentor Birdman and one of his rap idols Lil Wayne were going at it. Why? Because Birdman was not paying Lil Wayne no money. Petty. And this basically slows Lil Wayne's career down to a halt. And then Drake becomes the #1 rapper. But I digress. Birdman doesn't care because he signs another gem. A man named Young Thug. Now, Young Thug is selling records, so Birdman's like, Lil Wayne, you're not releasing no music forever. Lil Wayne starts talking smack to Birdman. But suddenly, Young Thug starts sliding in and starts throwing some shots at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said, why you saying me for? And while, as you can imagine, Young Thug is pretty loyal to Birdman, who signed him. But the thing is, Lil Wayne is one of his rap idols, so people were still a little confused why Young Thug jumped into this whole thing in the first place. Well, rumor has it that when Young Thug was trying to greet Lil Wayne, who was his rap idol, Lil Wayne kind of shoved him off and ignored him. And that made Young Thug have his own personal problems with Lil Wayne. Anyway, this whole thing comes to a head when Young Thug says his next album is going to be called Barter 6. Okay, but first it was called the Carter 6. Now, if you know anything about Lil Wayne, he has a series of albums called the Carter 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. For those of you that don't know, because this doesn't really happen much anymore, in rap, there's an artist's main staple album. Like if y'all remember the College Dropout 1, the College Dropout 2, they're all gonna fit like relatively the same theme, and it's like the artist's thing. Again, Lil Wayne's was the Carter. Birdman wasn't letting him release it. Young Thug says, I'll release the Carter 6. But funny enough, Young Thug says, no, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just a huge fan of Lil Wayne. And the thing is, Young Thug probably was trolling Lil Wayne, but on the other hand, Young Thug be making wild decisions for like the sake of art. So he really could have meant it. Regardless, Lil Wayne gets pissed. Young Thug says, I'm gonna do it anyway. Lil Wayne goes, I'm gonna sue you anyway. Young Thug goes, I'll call it The Barter 6, so you can't sue me. And well, Young Thug releases an album called The Barter 6. Lil Wayne is infuriated. And here's where it starts to get wicked. Lil Wayne's doing a show in Atlanta. Remember, he's beefing with Birdman and Young Thug at this time. Young Thug's people hear Lil Wayne's doing a show in Atlanta. Young Thug's from Atlanta. They say, oh, let's pay Lil Wayne a visit. They pay Lil Wayne a visit. Now, one of these people, Pee Wee Roscoe, he's important, confronts Lil Wayne and they get into an argument. Pee Wee Roscoe says, bet. He goes to his car and grabs a big military. Police see him and go, no. So they go after him. Pee Wee Roscoe goes, yikes, and hops in his car and drives off. So police go back to Lil Wayne and say, we're going to escort you out of the city. There's a madman on the loose. So they escort Lil Wayne out of the city. They say, hey, we can't go any further. Good luck to you. Pee Wee Roscoe slides in and goes, I don't forget. So he drives over to Lil Wayne's tour bus and $20,000 in damages. Speeds off. Police go, boy, we know it was you. Pee Wee Roscoe said, all right, it's pretty obvious. Y'all got it. They take him to jail. The police check his phone and see that he called Birdman. He also called Young Thug like 8 times. They say, why you called him? He said, I don't know. He's like alluding, though, to he called him for a reason. He not trying to get locked up. Police said, you don't know? He said, I don't know. They was fighting, I don't know. So police go over to Birdman. They say, what's the deal? But Birdman says he would never do anything to hurt Lil Wayne. In fact, somebody from Lil Wayne's camp called him. He said Pee Wee Roscoe and Lil Wayne's camp, they kind of have like the same phone numbers. I don't really know how that part works. But he says they called him just to tell him about the argument, and that was it. But then police were able to get a jail call from Pee Wee Roscoe with Birdman saying, here's $250,000 and a brand new Porsche. You did everything you needed to do. They said, Birdman said, that was for something different. So they go over to Young Thug. Young Thug says he was doing a show in a whole other state and he truly has nothing to do with it. Then police get a confession from Pee Wee Roscoe. Kinda. Pee Wee Roscoe basically says, Birdman and Lil Wayne's argument led to me lighting up Wayne's tour bus, and that Birdman should also be held responsible for the crime. Now, this can mean anything, but regardless, Birdman cannot be put in jail for that. Now, police also allege that Pee Wee Roscoe has done a lot of work for Young Thug, if you know what I'm saying. So they bring it up in Young Thug's trial, saying like, bro, Pee Wee Roscoe did that to Wayne. It has to be Young Thug. The judge basically said, y'all got any proof? Police said, no, but damn it, we know. But here's the thing. I know it looks bad, but Pee Wee Roscoe really could have just gotten into an argument with Lil Wayne and did that on his own.
Keep watching to find out how this rise to stardom would intertwine with the deadly gang wars that resulted in disaster. On January 11th, 2015, YFN Lucci's close friend, Big Nut, was gunned down in the city of Atlanta. Big Nut was a pivotal figure in the streets culture. His death created a divide, forcing the streets of Atlanta to pick a side. Big Nut was the glue in the Atlanta streets, and it was evident.
On January the 11th, 2015, YFN Lucci's close friend and mentor, Big Nut, real name Donovan Thomas, is shot dead at an Atlanta barbershop.
And now to a developing story this morning. The search is on for the person who shot 3 people, including a 14-year-old. 1 man died.
Neighbors in Atlanta's Castleberry Hill neighborhood heard the gunfire around 7:30 Saturday night. She saw 3 young men on the ground. Atlanta police say a teenager and a man in his 20s were both shot in the leg. The third, 26-year-old Donovan Thomas, was critical.
Had a significant injury. We had at least multiple gunshots in the upper torso area. He was rushed to surgery.
Thomas died at the hospital. Homicide detectives looked for bullet holes and brought in a police canine to search for more shell casings. They believe it was a drive-by shooting.
Police believe the 3 2-adult men and a 14-year-old were targeted. A triple shooting outside this barbershop ended the life of 26-year-old Donovan Thomas.
Big Nut was loved and respected by the YFN crew and in the streets of Atlanta at large. And following his death, clips of him with the likes of YFN Lucci circulated on social media, showing just how close these two really were.
Good, man. Straight up, man. Salute to you, big boy. We fucking with you, man.
Following Nut's death, it's said that there was a massive fallout in the Atlanta music scene. YFN Trey Pound told DJ Smalls Eyes just how shocked he was to hear about Nut's passing, with Lucci also speaking on the loss of Nut in his Karen Civil interview, remembering how Nut had been the first person who put him on in the rap game.
You know, I lost one of my homies who really got me on. You know, long live Nut forever.
Now, as far as I could tell, the police never announced any arrests or suspects in the killing of Nut. And while there's no concrete evidence to suggest that anyone associated with YSL had anything to do with Big Nut's murder, a lot of YouTube videos already exist explaining that theory. Countless comments have popped up on Reddit threads relating to this incident, suggesting YSL had something to do with what happened to Nut. But perhaps most significantly, the Atlanta police would later say, in an indictment targeting YFN members, that local police intelligence suggested that it was widely believed that YSL was somehow responsible for Big Nut's death, going on to state that it was this belief that directly caused the hostility between these two groups. Now, whether or not...
Years later, prosecutors would reveal that Young Thug rented a car used in Big Nut's murder, igniting suspicions of his involvement. This moment marked the start of a deadly feud between YFN and YSL, one that would shape Atlanta's streets for years to come. But the reason Big Nut was killed is still unclear. Some speculate that Big Nut was killed because he may have been a government informant, information that has not been confirmed. But a post by Young Thug after Big Nut's death raises some serious question. Thug would post, "Anyone who cooperates with the law should be killed."
When did the wiretaps start and so forth?
So that's interesting. So the indictment alleges that Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, rented a car that was used in a drive-by that killed a gang leader, Donovan Thomas. They called him Peanut. He was an Inglewood Blood gang member, OG guy. And it set off this war between YSL and YFN. A couple of weeks after that hit, at least according to the indictment, Jeffrey Williams spoke to a fellow who was he had to be in jail, who was a leading member of Sex Money Murder, which is a street gang that's based out of New York. He was apparently like the Georgia head of this gang. The only way Young Thug could have been talking to him was if that guy was in jail, which means they were tapping a phone, or they were tapping a room where he went down there himself. It's not clear. I strongly suspect it was a phone call. That implies that they were either following Young Thug around and knew to tap Young Thug's phone, or they were tapping this other guy's phone in jail. And there's an outtake from that phone tap where Thug is basically talking about how, sometimes sacrifices have to be made. We don't know the full context for that conversation. We don't know even if that phone was tapped or whether or not that's an inside informant who's saying that. It looks like a tap, but I can't tell. A couple of days later, Thug's on social media talking about how people who testify in court should be killed. And the implication is Donovan Thomas was killed because he was some sort of government informant.
Okay, was that established that he was an informant?
No. Like, that's something that we're looking for in the trial. That's the first time I've ever heard that. It explains a hell of a lot, but it's the first time anybody had heard that outside of a courtroom.
Now, there are a lot of back and forth moments in this beef between YSL and YFN, but we're only going to be discussing what I think are the most important that shaped this beef. In 2016, Young Thug drops his infamous Jeffrey album, with him wearing a dress on the cover. It sparked debates over masculinity in hip-hop. Most thought that Thug was making a fashion statement, putting on the dress to push the boundaries of fashion, but in an interview, Thug would claim he didn't even know that the outfit was a dress, seemingly giving no light to the situation.
Installment of his Slime Season mixtape, and probably most iconic of all, was his enormous album release, Jeffrey, coming along with that famous cover art where Young Thug wore a dress. Now, Jeffrey and its cross-dressing cover art stoked a lot of discussion in hip-hop about masculinity, gender, and self-image in a genre of music that's generally not known for its dress-wearing rappers. Now, Thug would later go on to try and reclaim some gangster points suggesting that the only reason he wore a dress is so that he could hide an AK-47 under it. But the reality is, a gangster throwing a dress on the cover of their album is always going to generate a lot of attention and sales. Jeffrey was a huge success, peaking at number 8 on Billboard, and frankly bringing the discourse in hip-hop forward about 10 years. After Jeffrey, Young Thug had cemented himself as a trap rap icon, and as a result, the streams and sales were rolling in. Young Thug
was a very positive procedure, and it was a little frustrating too because
you wanted it out.
It was earlier. I was like, I want to put it out on my birthday as a gift for my fans, but I also wanted to do it the right way. So this cover I did probably like 4 days ago.
Was sporting what could only be described as, I don't know, maybe like a costume. Maybe he was trying to be Raiden from Mortal Kombat, or maybe he was trying to dress like one of them little thoughts in Memoirs of a Geisha. Now, triple entendre, don't even ask me how. But anyway, last night at his listening party at the YouTube headquarters, Young Thug unveiled his new mixtape, No, My Name is Jeffrey. Now, his album cover, the track listings, which is 9 songs, I'll have a review for that at a later time. But what instantly got him trending was the booty goon attire he was rocking in the album cover. A lot of people are shocked.
Despite criticism, Thug cemented himself as a fearless innovator in rap. But the rap beef between YF and Lucci would take shape on social media. The same year, YF and Lucci would start the disrespect by dragging Thug's daughter into the feud, posting her and seemingly giving her a B-Day shout-out. Some think Lucci bringing Thug's kids into the beef was a step too far, but Lucci would later go on to post Thug's fiancée, Jerika, claiming he had slept with her, posting he had her wrapped around his finger. Thug would respond back, claiming Lucci was irrelevant, and suggested that instead of dissing, Lucci should try collaborating instead. It seemed Lucci was taking things to another level, trying to upset Thug publicly by any means, while Thug never wanted to engage with Lucci. The online back and forth was just the surface of the tension, and the beef was heating up in the streets of Atlanta.
See that rappers on both sides of this feud aren't afraid to take it there, bringing their own ops kids into the beef just to goad their rivals. In February 2016, YF and Lucci took to Instagram to wish Young Thug's daughter a happy birthday, posting a video of her face, which I'm definitely not going to put in this video. An incredibly ominous and serious message from YF and Lucci to Young Thug. But in spite of this kind of bold message sent on social media for the whole world to see, Lucci wasn't done prodding Thug. That same month, he also took to Twitter, saying that Young Thug's fiancée Jerika misses being on the couch with Lucci. He went on to infer that Young Thug would cry if he saw the DMs between Lucci and Jerika. Lucci would go on to post the unverified but supposed messages between him and Jerika, which weren't really damning or necessarily verifiable, but at the very least, if true, they would infer that Jerika had been to visit Lucci. Anyway, Lucci attempted to back up that unverifiable screen grab with a tweet saying true story, and another saying that he's got someone's hoe on a leash, going on to infer that he stole a rich person's girl, and atting Jerika directly saying that he misses her, shooting out another tweet to suggest that her denying this is a lie. And finally, ending his tirade by tweeting out 3 L's, which I assume were aimed at Young Thug. Now, Thug eventually replied in a tweet suggesting that Lucci was just looking for clout, and another saying that if a rapper wants to come up, they should collab rather than trying to start beef. A month after this, in March 2016, Lucci does an interview with DJ Small's Eyes, where he suggests that he doesn't even know who Young Thug is.
You and Thug. I don't know him. Never heard of him.
In 2017, the beef would continue after Young Thug goes on social media to tell the world he's going to finish what Tupac started. After many compared Tupac's legacy to what Thug had going on, claiming he was the thug that Tupac wanted to be. YF and Lucci would respond to this though, telling Thug that Tupac would never have worn a dress, throwing shots at Jeffrey's cover art.
Bad. Meanwhile, in 2017, Young Thug had spent months crafting a country-inspired new mixtape. Originally titled Easy Breezy Beautiful Thugger Girls, or EBBTG for short, it was eventually released under the title Beautiful Thugger Girls on the 16th of June 2017. This date was coincidentally the birthday of Tupac Shakur, and naturally a lot of different Tupac-related things were going on around the time of Tupac's birthday. This included the release of long-awaited Tupac biopic All Eyes on Me, But there was also YFN Lucci, who had released a tribute song to Tupac called Like Pac on Tupac's birthday too. Now, this wouldn't have been a big deal had Young Thug not hopped on Twitter a couple of days later, revealing to the world that he had actually dropped his Beautiful Thugger Girls album on Tupac's birthday on purpose, because as he said in his tweet, he is the new Pac, and that Young Thug is the thug that Tupac didn't get to become, with Thug saying that he was going to finish what Tupac started. Now, this kind of comment naturally didn't rub hip-hop purists up the right way at all. But then again, let's not forget who's truly to blame for the Young Thug Tupac comparisons. Wyclef Jean, who was the first person to originally start calling Young Thug the new Tupac in 2016. But anyway, for YFN Lucci, this was the perfect opportunity to dig up their old bitter feud. And in response to Thug's tweets, Lucci typed up on Twitter himself, saying Tupac would have never worn a dress, clown emoji. Now, Thug responded to this with cryptic tweets, questioning whether Lucci was big mad or little mad, and calling him a peon and a buster. But then Thug's tweets took a little bit more of a dark turn, as he went on to say that Lucci should humble himself and thank God that he's in a position to take care of his mother. You know, the one who was shot in his home, with Thug going on to suggest that doing too much could lead to Lucci being put to sleep. Now, in spite of this very brief flare-up for all of Twitter to see, the real feud between these two remained beneath the surface for the remainder of 2017. That summer,
and things wouldn't end there either. In 2019, Big Nut's gravesite was vandalized when someone would spray paint the word "slap" in green, a known YSL slogan, on his tombstone. Another step too far in this beef. Many believe that this was Thug's way of tormenting YFN Lucci, further escalating tensions between them.
But it was really in June 2019 when the disrespect in this beef would reach a disgusting new high, as it eventually emerged on social media that somebody had vandalized the gravesite of Lucci's fallen mentor Big Nut, spray painting the word "slat" over his headstone in green paint. An incredibly disrespectful act that no doubt had far more serious consequences than social media would ever know. Now, a month after that shameful incident, it would be time for more music. On August the 16th, 2019, Young Thug would finally drop his long-awaited album, So Much Fun. And straight from its opening track, there are a couple of lyrics that some people thought may have had some secret hints to the ongoing feuds that Thug had been involved in. There's a lyric where Thug says that somebody on his team has had a chain stolen from them, but he's spinning to try and find it. In fact, when it comes to chain snatchings, it seems like there has been a long-running back and forth between these two groups, because there's another clip circulating on social media seemingly depicting a YSL member showing off a YFN chain that they had recently snatched.
Get the chain though, on the fuck nigga. Say get the chain though, on the fuck nigga.
Also in that intro track, Just How It Is, Young Thug also says that the last person that tried him almost got popped at Atlanta's Lenox Mall. Now, it was unclear initially what this could have been referring to, but in the days following the release of this song, a picture begins to circulate on social media. This is a picture that Young Thug had apparently posted up on his own Instagram, showing a blue Mercedes parked outside Lenox Mall with the trunk open and two people standing next to it. He captioned this picture, "Nice car." Well, this car is YFN Lucci's. And at the time, Thug also posted a clip to his story where he appeared to be telling Lucci not to blow the motor in his car and calling him a scary ass boy.
Don't blow the motor, little scary boy.